Question. Can you describe the concept of your restaurant and what inspired it?
Green is are you talking about green, right? Not Nami, or do you want to talk about both?
Actually, both would be perfect.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, they're both kind of the same. One of them does desserts and breakfast and stuff, whereas Green, which is kind of our flagship store, we have 2 locations. The concept is new American comfort food, meaning that we borrow flavors from all different types of backgrounds and parts of the world to create our menu. And our menu is 100% plant-based. So we make everything from plants. When you see things like burgers and wings and cheese and bacon and all that, everything is made from plants. That's pretty much the concept.
My name is Tyson.
Now, what do you think about the food here?
Food's really good. I really enjoyed it.
Is there anything you wish they would improve upon?
Just the timely manner. It didn't come out fast enough, but hey, that's not a problem with me though.
Thank you. Awesome. Now, what inspired you or motivated you to become a restaurant owner?
Oh gosh. I have been in the restaurant business for a really long time, pretty much my whole life. I've only had one other job that was not in the restaurant business, so I started very young. And I learned a lot, worked for a lot of really great people, and was mentored by some great restaurateurs and some great chefs. And then I became a chef myself. But all the while, I was a vegan. So a lot of the food I was cooking, I wasn't able to even eat because it kind of went against what I personally believe. And that can be a little tricky, although I learned how to do it. And so when I had the opportunity to break out on my own and do my own thing, it only made sense to do it as a vegan concept.
Awesome. Now, why is affordable, clean food important to your restaurant and to Arizona itself?
Well, I think that it's important everywhere. We have always strived to have our menu be highly organic, which it is, and it always has been from day one. It's just better to eat plants for the environment. There's lots of studies out there linked to, the global environmental devastation of the animal agriculture business. And I think that having, clean vegan food is the stepping stone to, getting things back in line. It's a very easy thing to do. It's something everybody can participate in. And one of the things I think has made us very popular over the years, we've been around for about 18 years, is the fact that we don't really push the idea of veganism down your throat. We offer really affordable, good, tasty food in a nice environment, and I think that's been the magic to our secret sauce, so to speak.
I like that. Now, how has your restaurant adapted to online ordering, delivery, and sustainability trends?
Well, we've always been one of a bit of a trailblazer as far as sustainability, again, back to the environmental impacts of the meat industry, but we also were one of the very first restaurants in the Valley to ever incorporate a recycling program at the restaurant. Over the years, we've tried many different ways to figure out how to have less of an ecological footprint, and by way of composting and reducing waste, reducing water, recycling, upcycling. Most of our decor in the restaurant is made from basically recycled junk that we kind of turn into art. So we've kind of been a trendsetter as far as that's concerned, and we're very proud of that.
How did you secure funding to expand your restaurant?
Well, early on, when we first started, we started on a shoestring budget. We had a very, very small budget, and we basically kind of bootstrapped it. We saved all the money that we could. We went way into debt on all of our credit cards, and we borrowed from all of our friends and family, anybody that would loan us money. And then after about 3 years or so, we were able to pay everybody back. And by that time, when we were ready to expand into a second location, we had a little bit more of some financial stability, and so we were able to pitch it to some small business association banks. And the federal government has helped us out a lot. The SBA is a big help for young entrepreneurs.
I like that. Now, what key performance indicators or KPIs did you monitor closely when you growing your business?
Well, in the restaurant business, it's pretty formulaic, meaning that money comes in and money comes out. So it's always a good idea to keep an eye on your food costs. Of course, your labor costs are your next one. And the other analytics are kind of how many tables do you have? How many times can you flip those tables? Pretty basic restaurant economics. It's the only thing I've ever been doing, so I can pretty much do it in my head. But if you know how much your product is costing you and you know where your labor is costing you, you can put the proper price point on your menu. And, if you can calculate how many times you can flip those tables or how many orders you can put in a day, you can hopefully at the end of the day try to figure out how to make a decent margin, or at least some margin. The restaurant business is very, very difficult, but the vegan restaurant business is much harder.
Is there any advice you would give to someone looking to open up a restaurant like yours?
I give advice like that all the time. I do restaurant consulting, and I only do vegan restaurant consulting these days. So usually about 90% of my conversations with folks that are hiring me to help consult for them is me talking them out of it. It's very difficult to turn a profit. When you are the best way I can explain it is you think of the pie chart of everybody who eats out, and you have, maybe with vegans and vegetarians, you maybe have 2 to 4% of that pie that you're going to attract. The other 96% won't even go near you. So it's already a very highly niche market. If you open up a pizza place, or if you open up a salad place, or if you open up a barbecue joint or whatever, you're getting 96% of the people who go out to dinner. Vegan and vegetarian restaurants struggle because of that very, very small piece of the pie. And depending on what city you live in, there can be a high saturation of that. It's difficult. So I usually try to talk people out of it. And if they're very, very adamant, then they're very smart to hire me, because, if you work real hard and you do all the things I tell you to do, usually you will at least be able to make a living. But post-pandemic, that has changed a lot. We've been in business for 18 years, and we struggle to stay in the black these days.
Thank you. And what's the name of your business consulting business?
It's my last name, Brasch Consulting.
Okay, sweet. And then the last few questions for you. Let me word this differently. What makes you innovative as a business owner?
Well, we started in 2006, and back then there was, vegan was a scary word to people. So I think just the fact that we were one of the first to market gives us a big advantage, and that's kind of an innovation. We were one of the first people to kind of incorporate mock or faux meats into our menu, and really try to appeal to omnivores as much as we tried to appeal to vegans and vegetarians. Again, getting back to that whole pie chart of who you're appealing to. But it's tricky business, It's not an easy thing. People love to eat meat. even though they know it's bad maybe for themselves and bad for the environment. And, we just live in a very, very meat heavy culture. And it's, the vegan restaurant game I applaud anyone who is doing it and weathering this storm that we're in.
Me personally, I love your wings. I feel like your wings and your ranch is like better than like real wings and ranch. Me personally.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so much. Do you know what the wings are made out of?
Cauliflower, right?
No.
Oh.
No, they're not cauliflower.
Mushrooms?
They're mushrooms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. We freeze dry the mushrooms and then we shred it and add soy protein, and then the sauce is really what makes it. We do this white wine garlic sauce that's killer.
I love it. No.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Last two questions for you. So, how do you manage customer experience during peak hours?
Well, that is kind of old school restaurant stuff. Again, if you give a good inviting atmosphere for people, charge them, a fair price for what you're offering. And I think just approach it from an earnest point of view. Many of my customers know me personally. A lot of them have my personal cell phone number, and they'll call me if, something isn't right, or, if they want to tell me what a great time they had. It's difficult because you always want to scale up and you always want to grow, but I have chosen not to scale at especially when we were, 2019, 2018, when we were really hitting our peak. I chose not to scale up because that was very important to me. And I think the more you grow, the more it's difficult to keep the reins on that experience. But so long as it means something to you, you should be able to deliver a quality experience, no matter it's peak time or, in your slow hours as well.
Thank you. And then last question for you. How do you keep down like the cost of like food during like inflations or when things are in season?
That's a great question. And it's one of the hardest things in the restaurant business, whether you're in the vegan restaurant business or even the regular restaurant business. The reason why people say the restaurant business is the hardest business, one of the hardest businesses to stay alive in and to be profitable and to grow, is because your inventory is slowly dying. Your lettuce is wilting, your onions are going bad, your apples are going brown. So if you don't sell that stuff, your inventory, at the perfect peak time, when it's at its best flavor, then you're compromising your menu. And that's difficult to do, especially if you're, struggling financially. And the problem with that is people can tell. If something isn't quite right, people are going to be like, this feels like maybe they phoned it in, or maybe they got something from the discount bin or whatever. So that's why it's highly important to have the best quality food and offer the best quality food. But on the other side of that, when it goes bad, it's extra bad because you've just lost a bunch of money by tossing away this great product. Just another one of those things of the ballet of the restaurant business. It's hard to do. It's hard to get that balance right.